When the AIFF sent a letter to the Indian Super League clubs asking for their confirmation in the shortened edition of the 2025-2026 season league, there were a lot of people who were very relieved because it seemed like there was finally some clarity, at least for this season, over the ISL. However, there were many others who also questioned what exactly the league and what the AIFF were going to do to ensure that the league could be held, given that the most obvious concern which existed, which was a lack of a financial partner, still remains. Were the clubs going to be footing the bills themselves? Was the AIFF going to stump up the cash from somewhere? Would the government step in? There were a lot of questions, none of which remain answered. And it turns out that the ISL clubs have these very same concerns as well. Because in response to the AIFF, they actually asked 5 major questions to the federation before they said that they would confirm their participation. So they want these answers to these questions, then and only then will they confirm their participation. What are those 5 questions, though, I hear you asking? Let's take a look and then discuss in some detail. Question number 1. With whom does the financial responsibility lie for the league without a commercial partner? Question number 2. Can there be a case of no participation fee for the 2025-26 season? Question number 3. What is the cost allocation for the interim season? Question number 4. Time-bound and accountable long-term roadmap for the league. What is it? Where is it? And number 5, will there be government support to minimize the cost? Now let's go over all of these questions one by one. The first is, who's taking the financial responsibility without a commercial partner? That's a great question, because one of the reasons the league hasn't resumed is because the previous financial partner, which is, of course, Reliance or Football Sports Development Limited, the company that they had founded to run the league, pulled out of the master rights agreement or chose not to renew it once it ran out. So that's the major question. Where exactly does the financial responsibility lay? Which then links to question number 2. Can the clubs ensure that they don't pay a participation fee given money is already very tight? Which then also links to question number 3. What is the cost allocation going to be for the interim season? How much is the budget that is there for this interim season before you can potentially, hopefully, look for another long-term financial partner? Number 4. What is the long-term roadmap? Is there going to be some sort of a time-bound and accountable roadmap? Because again, what the clubs have right now is nothing. It's empty promises, and there is actually, as things stand, no actual roadmap. It's all work in progress, but there's nothing set in stone. And number 5, will the government be stepping in to minimize costs? We've heard previously that there'll be no government intervention, but obviously you can understand why it is that they want some sort of tax breaks or maybe potentially some intervention from public funds to ensure that there is money available, which means that the clubs don't have to. I can understand the clubs' concerns entirely because, again, a lot of them are not running in profits. In fact, they're operating in the red and owning clubs and running clubs only for the love of the game. Right now, there's not even a hope of profitability. So one really hopes that these 5 questions can be answered before we have further clarity on the league. There is talks that January 3 could be another meeting taking place between clubs and the federation, and one hopes that you get more clarity from that point out. But in my opinion, it's great that the clubs are taking these questions and asking for accountability from the AIFF, given the ISL, whatever future it may have, is set to be owned and operated by the federation in accordance to the new constitution. What are your thoughts, though, on the ISL club's response? Let us know that in the comments below, and don't forget, as always, to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell icon, follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, X, and Facebook, and stay tuned for more such updates from the world of sport.